girlfriend buried the kid in the backyard.
These crimes are horrific. Whatever this child's life was supposed to be, you make sure it didn't happen.
I knew I was sick or evil or both.
220 dispatch, you jumped. We have fire out here. Yeah, well, where is he in the water?
In custody at 324.
I have to imagine that at some point you got on the internet and said, how do I bury a body?
I am so very sorry. I deserve whatever I get because of what I have done.
Warning: this video includes sensitive and graphic information. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi everybody, it's Lady Curious, aka Curious Raven. Today we have a true crime that has been solved. I have been working on this for weeks, but this actually involves a child, and I had to take more breaks in between getting all the information, going through all of the videos, interrogations, because it's a case that breaks my heart. This is the case of Jordan Rodriguez. Some of you might have already heard this case, and this is probably going to be 2 parts. To understand this case, I need to start at the beginning with the Jordan's mom, Larissa Rodriguez. She grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Her birth mother was on drugs, but in 1998, Larissa reported while she was a teen mother at the age of 17, her baby's father was abusive to her. At that time, she lived with him, and she tried to go back to her birth mother, to go back home, to get help, but her mother denied her coming home. Her mother said she needed to find her own way. Finally, Family and Children's Services were contacted, and Larissa was removed from her mother's care. She was then adopted and stayed in Cleveland, Ohio with 2 sisters and adoptive mother siblings. In 2007, she actually went through something pretty hard. Her adopted mother was murdered by her abusive partner. Her name was Emma, and she was stabbed a dozen times in the chest. And this happened when Larissa was around 24 years old. Larissa was devastated. Larissa said that she was a loving, caring mom and was always there for them. So far, she had a rocky life. Larissa is a mother of 9 when this incident happened, and pregnant with 1. 10 children altogether. She jumped from guy to guy, and many of them were criminals and abusive. This occurred when Larissa was age 34 years old. She started dating a man named Christopher Rodriguez, and no, they are not married, and they are not related. They just happened to be born with the same last name. Just a coincidence. They were dating about a year when this incident happened. At the time, Christopher was actually in prison, just went into prison because he failed to pay child support for his other kids that were out there somewhere. Larissa had a history of abusing and being cruel to her children. There have been 13 neglect and abuse investigations on Larissa since 1999. Her sisters, Michelle, especially Anna, said she saw her sister abuse her nieces and nephews when she used to live with Larissa, and she did call Family Children's Services on her multiple times to report it. It was like they said, oh, we'll look into it, and sometimes they would send somebody, and then they would just close the case and nothing was done. Anna stated that all Larissa and Chris did was beat on the kids. Now, Jordan, like I said before, was one of Larissa's sons. He was born with struggles. He was mute, so he did not talk at all, and had slow developmental issues. They said he may have been on the spectrum for autism, but I could not find any true doctor diagnosis of it from a medical professional. He was a disabled little boy. His family described him as a sweet, happy little boy. He was born in 2013 and died September 2017. Most of Larissa's other children are in the system, and at that time, she had 5 children in her custody. A friend of Larissa reported that one time she was there, she found Jordan looking half dead in a closet. She called FCS on her and reported it. Both of Larissa's sister put many calls into Family Children Services to report the abuse, but they would send people over there but never supposedly found anything. The system failed these children, especially Jordan. Larissa's sister and other children have witnessed Jordan in a corner, holding something in both hands, stretched out, and with a sock in his mouth, y'all. A sock in this little boy's mouth. It was described that Larissa and her boyfriend was a lot harder with punishments for Jordan compared to the other children. I don't know why, y'all. I mean, in my opinion, I feel like they saw him as weak, and that since he doesn't talk, they could get away with it. These people are just fucking gross. Here is a news clip of her sister.
Hi, Sarah. Well, this case was a lot for many to digest, so we built out a timeline of how it all unfolded from start to finish. According to Larissa's sister, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordan was alive July 17th. On July 31st, Larissa told family that Jordan was half dead in the closet.
I feel like if I never left that home, they would at least have somebody there protecting them.
After that, Larissa told her nephew that Jordan was visiting an aunt in Texas who was going to help him get better. Mid-August, Larissa's nephew asked about Jordan again, and Larissa said he was still with his aunt. October 16th, Christopher Rodriguez, who's Jordan's stepfather, went to jail on child support charges.
Her and her boyfriend, Christopher. Where's he at? Who? Where's he at? Okay, that's who you need to be looking at.
December 18th, a lot unfolded. Police received a call from Pakistan from Christopher Rodriguez's brother.
Our caller is in Pakistan calling right now. He received this information third party. States his brother and his girlfriend buried their 4 or 5-year-old son in the backyard and found the child unresponsive this morning.
Child Protective Services then removed 4 children from the home after finding out they were living in deplorable conditions. And Larissa was taken into custody for questioning. The next day, December 19th, human remains were found in the backyard of the home. Larissa's sisters have raised questions about whether these remains are connected to the skull found in a vacant home on Longmead Avenue.
The main incident came to light when Christopher Rodriguez's brother, who has wished his name to be anonymous, was overseas in the military at the time. He was in Pakistan, I think. He called 911 to report what his brother Christopher had confessed to him. Christopher told him that his girlfriend called him at work and begged and pleaded with him to come home because something happened. And when he got there, Jordan was unresponsive. And he told his brother that while on the phone, supposedly, he cried when he helped Larissa bury Jordan's body in the backyard of their home. Now, when this 911 call came in, they sent police over there to follow up, but they couldn't just go in there guns blazing and start digging up the backyard. They have to have some type of substantial tip or something like that to actually, get a warrant and do all that. So here is that police officer's body camera video where he first went over to Larissa's house.
There's a car in the driveway. It's got a fenced in right there. Ready to run this plate. Frank, yesterday, Lincoln, 7437.
Frank yesterday, Lincoln 7437 is on a 2017 Chevy 4-door.
Anyway?
Listed out of Lakewood. It's showing 227 attached to it for a Tony Smith from Larceny out of North Homestead.
Okay, it's parked in this yard over there.
Copy.
Nothing looks disturbed. The gate is open.
David 16. Can you run that play? Push your foot back lane. Up. Foot back to us.
It is coming back clean on a 95 Chevy two-door to a Sylvester Sims out of Brooklyn.
That's coming back to somebody with a warrant or something.
I have that address.
I'll start tapping on these doors over here. Doesn't nothing look disturbed over here, by the way.
The address is going to be 4923 Ridge Road, 4923 Ridge Road, and the only phone number attached is going to be 216-559-8119.
Sylvester Sims.
Yes, sir?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, the address is that is just what tells you. Is that Parma or?
It's in Brooklyn, 44144.
Tap right here.
Terminal 284. Radio to Adam 17 for 1. Thank you. 1410 Irving, 1410 Irving, the White Aiken House. Samara's calling states the side door on it is open. She's not sure if anyone's inside. The code 3, cat is 2408-2408. Thank you, 1022.
I'm trying to. Is it a door to the front here? Yeah. All right.
Adam 11, and just for info.
Go ahead.
Per the caller, this is an update that we just got. Per the caller, stating that the child was possibly buried a couple of months ago.
Okay, copy that. On the update on our end, there's nothing in the rear looks to be disturbed, so we have somebody at the door right now, so stand by.
Okay.
7222 to channel 2.
She's got 5 kids.
7222.
Are your kids here?
It's going to be I-90 East at West 41.
You mind if you step in?
East at West 41. For a 3-car accident in the middle lane.
Okay.
There's a semi involved.
You have one of about a 4 or 5 year
Facing
old.
the wrong way. Code 1.
How old are your children?
4.
Okay.
He just turned
4. Is it a boy? A girl? What?
A little boy.
A boy. What's the boy's name?
Anthony.
Okay. See if you can get a name. Okay.
Is there anything?
Well, we got a call want us to check on the well-being of the 5-year-old, 4 to 5-year-old kid.
All my kids are good.
Okay. What can we see?
They're laying down.
Okay, I believe you.
Don't want me mad. But I have them all taken out in my office.
Okay.
one. She's right
Christopher
there.
Rodriguez and his girlfriend, Larissa Rodriguez.
Let me know. Fine.
All right. Hello, kids. All right. All right.
Apparently Larissa has...
What's your name, Mel?
Apparently Larissa has 9 other children, and she told the other...
Is there, I mean, a reason why?
Hold on. You have any idea or anything?
She said she has 9.
It's like 4 in that room up there. Watch the walls. How many kids do you have, man?
I have 9 altogether,
Okay.
but I have some that don't live with me. But these are the ones that do live with me.
Okay.
Where's Christopher at?
He's in jail. He's been in jail
What's he in jail for?
for child support. He's been in there since like October.
Was he here when the dog bit the lady?
Yeah.
That
I
was him,
think
right?
so.
Is that him?
Yeah. But he hasn't even been there.
No.
He's been in Medina County. That's why I was surprised when my son came down and said, "Mommy, the police are here." I said, "Huh?"
So Christopher's been in jail for how long?
Since October.
It's October.
Yeah. He's been in Medina County. He's been there October 24th.
What's his last name?
Huh?
What's Christopher's last name?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez? Is that your husband?
No, we're not legally married.
Gotcha. He's in jail in Medina?
Yeah. He's in Medina County. He's been in there since October 25th. October 24th, October 25th, something like that.
Do you have a child with special needs?
Oh, Jordan? Yes, I do.
How old is Jordan?
Jordan, he is just turned 5.
Where's Jordan at?
He's with his dad. He's going to be visiting for the holiday. He's not here with us right now, for the holiday.
Where's Dad at?
In Texas. He's not even here. Is that who you guys are pertaining to?
Maybe, possibly.
What was the call mainly about?
Just checking the welfare.
Oh. I get these all the time because I got ignorant ones who want to sit there and call on me.
Do you know, what's his dad's name, Jordan's dad?
Patrick. Pat.
Do you have a number to, Patrick, can we reach that?
We need a list of all your kids' names.
A list? Can I get a pen and paper?
Sure, or you could tell me.
Here, I'll write it down because it's a lot easier.
Okay. Firstborn, all the way down the line. Supposedly Jordan is with Dad
Yes,
in
he's
Texas.
with Dad.
We can call him?
Yeah.
Huh? Right now, I don't have the number because he was going to get a new number.
Okay. But he's got family, so we can
Yes.
talk to them.
I mean, I don't know what this is pertaining to.
Just to the young, oldest to the youngest. And if you know the date of birth, put it under there. That'll be fine. How long you been living here?
I've been here about two years.
2 years, okay.
1 on 3.
I grabbed
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
The oldest ones that they're probably talking about too is Angel Gilbert. I haven't had custody of them since years ago. Do you need that information too? Or
Well, you say you had
All
9.
your kids.
those? I'm only missing. Okay.
You got 9. You're a little short. A couple short there.
Okay, I'm gonna put the ones that I don't have right here. Non-custody.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And where are they at?
Those. These ones are, he went to foster care. One's with the grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the other one who took, Daddy took custody.
Okay.
So.
How long you live here, man?
I've been here
2 years. What's that? Your name? She said her name. He said it was the boy girl.
She says the girl.
Oh, she.
Mimi.
Your Mimi?
No, that's Tati.
Oh.
Do I have to put over there?
Tell me something about Patrick. Do you know anything about Patrick?
He stays in Texas. I mean, we were together for about 2 years.
What's his last name?
Strong. We wasn't together actually too long. He was just like an internet thing.
Do you know his? Do you know his like when he was his birth date or anything?
No, that I did not. You know, we.
What's Jordan's last name?
Rodriguez. He took it from me.
You got a phone number here, man?
His phone just recently disconnected.
Your phone.
Oh, my phone, 216-456-4301.
Okay. So how many kids, you have these children to live with you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 live with you.
Yes.
Do you live here by yourself, or do you
Yeah,
live with
technically,
anyone?
I'm here by myself. I mean, Chris comes and goes, you know, back and forth.
Chris is the one that's in jail right now.
Yes, he's been in jail since October 24th, or October 25th.
Okay. And that's in Medina County.
Yes.
Who was he arrested for?
He was arrested for child support.
Oh, child support?
Yes.
Jeez. How many kids does he have?
He has one.
One?
And he's 15. Yeah.
Oh, the other boy is 15? Okay. Okay. Man, I would really love to get in touch with Jordan.
Okay. Is there any way I can give you, when I find the number, to contact you?
Who got?
I got 2.
Any of the kids disabled?
He's not really disabled, but that's the one that's with his dad.
None of them?
No.
Oh, what do you mean?
He's just SSI. He can't talk.
How old is he?
He just turned 5.
Okay.
That's the one.
Where does he live?
He's
Texas.
staying. He doesn't live there, but he's just visiting for the holiday.
What? In Texas?
Yeah.
And where he usually lives here?
Yeah.
Okay. What, you got a family members in Texas?
That's why I said, is there a number or something where I can contact you guys?
How long has he been in
No,
Texas?
you can get it now. It's not a big deal. We'll wait. Right, Kitty?
How long has he been in Texas?
He's been only over there for a couple weeks. Because he goes over there to, you know, visit and stuff like that.
Wait a minute, he goes where to?
No.
He goes.
Yeah.
He goes.
I want to say sperm donor, but.
He goes to Texas to visit.
Yeah. He goes there. He went there last year. Went there this year.
Okay.
Because he just goes to visit family out there. But I mean, other than that, he's here.
So Jordan has family members in Texas.
Yes.
All right. Do you know any numbers or how to get in touch with anybody who actually lives in Texas?
I mean, right now, his phone just got disconnected.
What's his address?
I'm waiting for him to call me.
What's his address?
I don't know.
You just didn't send
personally.
the kid to who knows who, right?
I mean, no. I mean, I don't know the address personally because me and his dad don't really associate like that.
But you let him go with him, right?
Right. He just had his phone disconnected. He's going to be calling me with the phone number. So, and that's the only way I can contact him.
Sum up the video, Larissa lied and told police that Jordan was in Texas with his father since December 2nd. Remember, when they found Jordan, they put him that he passed away September of 2017. And she was saying that he left December 2nd, 2017 with his aunt. But I'm flabbergasted, y'all, because she literally was like, oh no, I don't know his number. I don't know their address. There's no way I can get a hold of them. And it was just like, are you freaking kidding me, you little lying ass? Around this time, Larissa's family and some of her children knew that she had something to do with Jordan's disappearance. I'm going to enter a news clip here of her oldest son begging his mother to tell them where Jordan was.
Little boy was deprived of his life at a really early age. Justice will be served. That's promised.
An emotional night outside the home of 5-year-old Jordan Rodriguez.
A candlelight vigil for him as his mother sits in jail, charged with his murder. Our James Girardi was at that vigil earlier tonight where we heard from Jordan's oldest brother for the very first time.
And he has a message for his mother in jail.
Ma, I just wanted to let you know that I still love you, but I want you to tell me the truth and what really happened.
19-year-old Angel Alvarez is Larissa Rodriguez's firstborn son. Flanked by his aunt and his father, he begged his mother to tell him what happened.
Tell me the truth. I'm your oldest son. You never lied to me. I don't know why you would lie. And I just wanted to tell you I love you, and I'm going to get justice for Jordan. He's my little brother. You're my mother, but I have to do what I have to do.
A family torn. A mother they know and love, now charged in the murder of her 5-year-old son, Jordan Rodriguez.
We're bound to get justice for Jordan. This is what this all boils down to. At the end of the day, it's for Jordan. But Larissa, I love you.
To bless this family in the name of Jesus.
Outside the home where the remains were found Tuesday, buried in the backyard, friends, family, and strangers came to help those hurting the most. Anna Rodriguez is Jordan's aunt and Larissa Rodriguez's sister.
There definitely was a devil here. Definitely was a devil here because she helped me raise mine.
Court documents revealing this week Jordan's body showed multiple signs of abuse, including broken ribs. The 5-year-old developmentally disabled boy lived here with 4 of his 8 siblings. His mother's boyfriend, Christopher Rodriguez, lived here as well. Investigators are working to build a case against him too, though he has not yet been charged.
That was James Girardi reporting. The medical examiner is still working to officially identify the remains found in that backyard as well as a cause of death.
I will be putting in Larissa's interrogation video here.
Understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Some things have changed overnight. We did a lot more work on this. We just have a few questions. When this all happened, did you have a cell phone back then?
When this all happened, yeah, I just can't remember what number I had.
What kind of phone was it?
I had it was the same one as my daughter, the Samsung Galaxy on 5.
What color is it?
Silver and black.
Okay. Did you also have like a Samsung phone with a white backing? Like a brand new one?
Oh, I know which phone you're talking about. That we found, my daughter had found that. It was between two phones that was in the house. There was a bigger one.
Well, this one was found underneath your back porch.
Oh, probably my kids. Probably took it and threw it back there.
Which kid?
I don't know. Probably one of my little ones.
Why would they throw it
Because
back?
they play with it.
Oh.
It don't work. You know, we found it and if we couldn't get it to break the code or whatever, Mariana found it when we was walking to the gas station. So we couldn't break the code or nothing, so we just let the kids play with it.
Okay. When I tell you some things have changed is we did talk with the coroner.
Okay.
And they finished their initial examination. And there are some problems. The problems being Jordan had an old left wrist fracture. His left wrist was broken at some point and it was healed. It healed on its own. How? That's something you need to tell us. Jordan also has 3 fractured left ribs that healed on their own and a fractured right rib that healed on its own. And these are all injuries that were healing on their own without medical help, which means he was in a lot of pain for a very long time, and you're not being honest about what was happening to this kid.
See, what happened, I mean, I personally didn't, but I was scared myself, okay?
Scared of?
I think talking to my sisters yesterday actually opened up my eyes a little bit and made me realize I should not be the only one taking full blame for this. I never put my hands on my kids. You can ask any of them. And a lot of people used to tell me maybe that's why sometimes your kids don't listen. You know, sometimes I need to be more rough on them, but that's just not in me. To sit here and...
I don't want to be that mother either. I just don't want to be that mother either.
Right, I don't. I mean, I was like that when I was little. I can't be that type of mom to sit there and expect you, okay, my kid may do something wrong, but I see other discipline, you know, timeouts, you know, corner, you know, bedroom, you know, sometimes my Help Me Grow worker even seen it herself. You know, no matter how bad my little ones can act up, I never had that in me to hit my kids. But I think I was just so scared because I used to get my ass beat by Chris just because I defended my kids. My daughter, my oldest son can tell you, my older son had to pull a knife on him because he put his hands on me the way he did.
How long were you and Chris together?
About 2 years.
Okay. And he was living with you from day one?
Yeah.
Our understanding is that you were dating someone else who moved out and you met Chris online?
I was with Jake.
Okay.
But Jake wasn't in the house for more than 2 weeks.
Right.
Since when
and he
I
left
first
and then
moved
Chris
in.
came in?
Right.
And you met him online?
Yes.
All right.
So, if I could interject.
Yeah, please.
So what I see happening is like, I think March of 2016, you were going through the process of trying to enroll Jordan in a class that's specific for him. But is it Chris that doesn't want him to do this? Or is... Because what I'm reading...
I did try to get him enrolled in school and stuff like that.
Because what I read was Jordan would have benefited from an environment with children like him. He is autistic, most probably.
Yes. And what I did was, it was almost through the year. So when I talked to the development for the school, I said, well, they either said, well, I could send him now or send him next year. I preferred that he would have started the following year, so that way he's got a whole entire full year. And that's what my, intentions was, to send him to school.
To put your kid at the front of the class,
Yes.
as opposed to the...
Yes.
I did the same thing with my daughter.
Yes, because I wanted my son to actually be around other kids, to actually learn and to actually,
Sure, you want some coffee or water?
I'll take some.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Cream and sugar?
Yes, please. And I I was doing what I can, you know, and if you notice, none of my kids or nothing ever went through this until I got with Chris.
I know. That's why, listen, Nina, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm a mother and you're a mother.
And
I know you're grieving.
my sisters made me realize that, you know, like.
Listen, I know you had a horrible upbringing.
That's terrible.
I know. So the most that we can do now is to, I understand where you're at, okay? But I have to press you on certain points. That's my job.
I understand.
And it's as a human being, I know it hurts you. I can see that it hurts you.
Ever since day one, ever since everything happened, I wanted to reach out. I wanted to tell somebody. The day it happened, the first person I wanted to talk to was my counselor. I wanted to tell her what happened just because I was just so scared. I needed somebody to confide in.
Okay.
And I don't have that support.
When you say the day that it happened, do you mean
the same as that day?
September 21st?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I needed somebody to talk to. And in my heart, something told me that he did something to my son.
You have to make the coffee here if you want something.
Okay, thank you. In my heart, I just knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it. Like, you know, okay, if he can hit on me and he can discipline my other kids, but he wouldn't discipline them like he did Jordan.
Mm-hmm. How does he discipline Jordan?
It was just different. I mean, as far as, you know how you said the sock in the mouth, none of my kids got the sock in the mouth, only Jordan. And I used to sit there and tell him, don't do that. You know, I used to get yelled at. My kids all can tell you I defended all my kids. And that's where a lot of me and his arguments came in, because I did defend my kids. And that's where he would put his hands on me. He even put a sock in my mouth when I tried to yell for help. I felt like I was stuck. And every time something like that would happen, he would always bring up and make me feel like guilty, like I was the one who did that to Jordan. And I didn't hurt Jordan.
Well, so what, let me just say this. We've seen pictures. Up until Christopher Rodriguez comes in the picture, he's a healthy child.
And he was healthy.
He was healthy. However, for whatever reason, he focused on that child. I don't know what that reason was.
And he tried to keep everybody away from me. I couldn't have friends. I couldn't have family. I couldn't have nobody.
I may have missed this. Did he actually physically abuse him? Did you see him?
A few times that I've seen, yes.
Okay. And what did he do?
He would smack him. He would, I mean, me personally, didn't see him fracture anything. I wasn't around, or if I went to the store, or if I, went out with my kids or something.
You won't see a fracture.
You won't. That's why it shocked me, because
it's a compound fracture.
Right, because my son had a fracture when he jumped off the bicycle. He was on the bike with my older son. So I know, I took him to the hospital for that fracture.
But a rib fracture? You won't see that.
But see, I wish I would, it was just like Jordan trying to tell me something. When I told you that when he finally took his last breath, it was like he was mad. I seen in his face like he just wanted to tell me something. But I just didn't know what that something was. And with him being speechless, I mean, I couldn't understand what it was. But I could tell it was just something so mad, angry. And I thought he was trying to cuss me out or something. But I took it as he was just trying to tell me, Mom, I love you, I gotta go, But in my heart, something told me that he had something to do with this. Because every time after this happened, I just hated him. I hated everything. I hated it. I just couldn't stand to be around him.
Did you ever ask him to leave?
I did. And he told me that if I was to call the cops, that he had the gas in his name, that they would tell me that he resides there, that he can't leave. So I just felt like I was trapped. And I even told him, this is my house. You have to go. But then he always threw up, well, if he leaves, he's calling the cops and he's blaming everything on me. Which I didn't hurt Jordan. I take the fault for not taking him to the doctor. Yes, that was my fault. And my other fault was doing
Tissues, Ray. Bring tissues, Ray.
Was given the idea to do that. But I didn't hurt Jordan.
I know.
It's not in my heart to hurt Jordan.
I know that. Do you know Jordan looked just like you? He looked just like you. Same face.
There was not one day ever since that happened I never thought about it.
I didn't know if you wanted cream, but...
Because Jordan didn't deserve this.
What do you want?
Tissues.
Oh, okay.
Please. Jordan's not, because we have your DNA, he's not identified yet. So I'm hopeful that later today he will be positively identified. You asked me if you could see him. I'm gonna steal one of these because you're starting to get to me.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
and my
listen,
sisters
no
made
one
me
in this
realize a
room-
lot. My sister, and I mean, I haven't talked to them in years. And they said, why are you taking the blame for this guy? And I admit, in my past, that's part of one of my counseling. I've had bad relationships, and it's a pattern.
Yeah.
It's a pattern, and that was something me and my counselor was working on. And this just happened to be another one that just...
Well, he might have been the worst one.
Yeah. I think it was.
You do know we're going to go talk to Chris. Have you talked to him at all during this time?
No. No.
Talked to him before you were put in jail?
I talked to him. It was the same day you guys all came. I mean, not you guys, but when they came to the house, and to me, it just seemed like he didn't care.
What did you tell him?
Like, I told him
He was in jail at the time.
Yes, he called me about 6 o'clock that evening, because that's when he got supposedly off of work, from in the work or whatever he did in the kitchen. And yeah, he's like, what's going on? I guess because the detectives went to talk to him. And when they went to talk to him, I guess they were asking him questions. He didn't specifically go into, he just wanted to know more about what happened on my side.
What you said.
Right. So when I sat there and I told him, and he was just like, he didn't seem like I was. You know, like I was scared, I was nervous, I'm, you know, shaking and spooked, and you know, he just seemed so calm. And, you know, like...
Did he tell you what to say, what you should say, what you shouldn't say?
No. That's why when you guys came and said now he changed up his story to something about December 2nd, that's because he heard me say it over the phone. He didn't know anything about what I told the police. But
so when we confront him with Jordan's injuries, is he going to tell us otherwise, that you're the one who did it?
A woman can't do it hit that much harder, and you know what? Anybody can tell you that. And I say that
that's not true.
I mean, he's a lot stronger
I understand.
than I am. And me personally, you could even ask my older son. My older son will tell you. No, Angel.
Angel?
My older son will be the one to, if anything, between my older son and my oldest daughter.
Do you know how we would get a hold of Angel? I mean, do you know that number? Does he live on Wade Avenue with his dad? Or do they live someplace else in the first district?
His dad moved. I could try to get my little sister to contact Angel.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Angel right now, they message through Facebook Messenger. Okay. But I remember him leaving my oldest daughter a message with a phone number.
The oldest daughter is Mariana?
Yes. But I don't even know if the detectives got her phone. I mean, I tried calling, she's not answering. So I don't know if the detectives got it for like evidence or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't think they do, but we'll find out.
Okay, because I've been trying to call her just to see how she's been doing.
Well, I think right now she's in custody with foster care. So I think right now it's probably in her best interest that they keep the kids away from all this. Give them a break.
Right.
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
New Year's is coming up. Let them enjoy the holidays. They're going through enough right now. Because we're going to sit down with Mariana and have a talk with her too, but we're trying to give her some time to.
And can you guys at least tell her so that way she doesn't feel like she's scared, she doesn't have to talk? Can you guys please tell her that you guys know that I did open up and tell them and tell you guys?
We will tell her that you told us.
Because she doesn't open up too much. And
Well, she's probably older than her years.
Yeah.
She'd be more comfortable talking with Detective Remington?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
I mean, not only that, but at the same time, if she knows that mom opened up and mom, you know, was honest and told, then she'll feel like it's okay for her to open up, that she doesn't have to feel scared that he's going to do something.
Okay.
So, do you want to know about the children? So you have 4 older children.
They
split them 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
And
one of the dads was just here yesterday. They came and saw me yesterday.
Okay.
But I kind of almost refused their visit, but I didn't. Just because something told me it would make me feel better.
So, the older children are 1 hour from the city of Cleveland. They're together, 2 and 2 in 2 different
Are the
homes.
girls with the girls and the boys with the boys?
I don't know that specifically. All I know is that Erica Armstrong and Bill Rozier, I think.
I don't know who that is.
So they're in charge of their placement. That family is keeping them away from the television. So they're not seeing what's going on. Ray and I decided that the state of Ohio mandates that DCFS talks with them in the first week. We decided, between the 2 of us, that in the first week, we don't want to talk with them. Because you wouldn't believe this based on our interview yesterday, but I spent 10 years in sex crimes and child abuse. I want to give your children a chance to decompress, to have normal holidays.
Right.
And then
to let this, you know, pass over through the holiday.
This is traumatic, and when they find out that Jordan is deceased, it will further be traumatic. So, in their first visit, a counselor from Frontline will be with them, and they will explain to them that Jordan is deceased. And then Ray and I would like to sit down with Mariana because she's the oldest, and it's my understanding, you can correct me if my understanding is wrong, she was close with Jordan. And it's also my understanding that Mariana may have been touched physically by Christopher Rodriguez.
No, not in my knowledge.
Okay.
Mariana, and I know that for a simple fact because Mariana was always with me.
Okay.
Mariana's a mama's girl.
Okay.
She's never been alone with him.
That's good.
She's always, every time I go to the store, it's Mom, I'm going with you. You know, so that for a fact, I know.
Has she ever witnessed
she
anything between you and Chris?
No. I mean, are you talking about like
sex?
No.
Okay.
No, none of my kids.
Okay.
None of my kids. I'm not that type of mom where we sit there and make it. You know,
I don't think you are, but if he's a predator, in other words, if he's attracted to you because he's got a home with you, he's got somebody putting a roof over his head and feeding him, and he's really attracted to kids, then he's playing you to get to her. And she may be afraid to tell you that.
Okay. As a mom, will you guys look into that for me?
absolutely will.
I mean, because I personally don't think that, but who knows, you know? And they always, and I say that because I was, you know, touched when I was little, when I was 5 years old, by my foster brother, my 18-year-old foster brother. And they always say, if it happened to you, it could be possible it happened to your child. And I just want to make sure that that's cleared.
Well, I want to give her the floor to share that with me, if it has happened. And she has a unique relationship with her brothers and sisters in that.
And I also say that too, because her bond with Chris wasn't too. Mariana's one. She doesn't cling on to everybody. You know, as far as males. You know, as far as mom, yeah, she's very close to that. She's she's always been with me. Dad's never been there. You know, she's never really had a father figure to step up and be that father figure, which she thought was Chris until the day Chris put his hands on me. You know, and it's just like, that's why their relationship wasn't too, until kind of like towards the end-ish, you know, like recently, to where her bond is okay. You know, it's not like.
How far into the relationship are you and Chris before he puts his hands on you?
I would say, because it's technically not 2 years until this February. So it's been a year. About a year, right? About? No.
Well, I think
It's
he
going
comes
on-
into the picture in February of 2016.
No, March.
Okay.
He came in March. Cause
Okay.
it was
2015 or
Yeah,
16?
16, because this is going to be
16.
18 in a minute.
Yeah. So
You're
it
getting
would be.
old, yeah.
So it would be actually 2 years in March.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, what, about a year?
So you're a year
So-
in when he puts his hands on you the first time?
When he finally put his hands on me the first time was when his brother came into town. And I'm the type where, okay, if you make plans, at least make them ahead of time. You knew your brother was coming into town. And if we had plans, you're going to stop our plans just to be with your brother. You know, and I kind of got upset because he said, oh, come on, let's go play some basketball. You know, you complain about our time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now that we have our time, you know, where, you know, kids are, you know, it's just family,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then when we do have our time, you want to go run off with your brother. And so, I mean, I addressed it to him. No attitude, no nothing, you know, and he just got pissed. He just got real furious.
Which brother?
This is his brother Scotty, the one that's in Pakistan or wherever he is. He just got real pissed, started hitting me, and, you know, just literally that day he gave me a black eye.
Does Scotty know about this?
No. I mean, every time we got into it, he would always call his brother, but always make me look like I'm the bad one.
So
But
he would
he
confide
knows.
his brother about
But he
it,
knows
right?
his brother. Come on now. Sometimes he would get mad because his brother would defend me. So he knows, you know, like situations that we've been through. You know, some things that he's always called them every time. You know, or talk about he's gonna pack up his stuff and leave, and you know, it's just okay. Then leave. I would have been more happy, you know. But maybe all this would have been told and said long time ago. You know, maybe that would. But with him not leaving, with him threatening me, with him putting his hands on me, it got so bad my son grabbed a knife on him. And I'm sorry, I know this is domestic violence towards me, but I see it as self-defense. He's got a scar on his back because I did it. Self-defending myself. Because he went and literally choked me, put me in the kitchen, slammed me against stuff, had a knife in his hand. I found something, I don't know whether it was a screwdriver or something. I just grabbed something and just got him right in the
Police out
back.
to the house. Somebody called.
No, nobody. Nobody. And that's what gets me is that street is so highly protected by police that why didn't somebody? I mean, I even tried to jump out the window, try to get some help from somebody. I feel like I couldn't even leave my house. And then when I sat there screamed, he put a sock in my mouth. So I couldn't. And then we're sitting there screaming, you know, like I'm screaming, and he's sitting there choking me.
Let me ask you this. Is he, what you described to me about Jordan losing weight in his arms while developing a pot belly, that's malnutrition?
See, you can, even when you talk to my daughter, that's why I thought something was wrong going on with his kidney.
Okay, but
because he was losing the weight, he was doing, you know, but...
I'm not saying you did this. My question is that some sort of discipline that he does to this child?
No.
Does he withhold food from him?
No. That's why none of us ever thought it would have been anything like that. Me, I thought it was his kidney because when he eat, everybody eat. All my kids eat first. I served every single last kid of mine first. And my daughter and my son, anybody can tell you. When I cook big meals. Mm-hmm. And Jordan, he was one to always eat. Mm-hmm. Always. We got pizza, he eats like 5-6 pieces of pizza. And you know, it surprises me because he was like, where do you put it, Jordan? You know, like, I mean, he always ate. That's why it surprised me when he started kind of losing his appetite. And I used to have to sit with him and say, Jordan, you got to at least eat something. At least take a couple bites. Well, you know, because I never had that problem with him.
When does he begin losing his appetite?
I don't know the specific date. I mean...
Roughly.
2 months.
Summertime, springtime, wintertime?
I could say it was about maybe summer, early summer. You know, he started losing appetite. I got him to at least drink something. I don't, you know, like some behaviors where I saw where I'm called for. Sometimes Jordan will wake up. I mean, remember how I told you, like, with his rocking?
That's a signature. I don't mean to...
No, he's always did that ever since when he was a baby.
That's sort of a signature of children who have spent time in an incubator or children who are autistic. They will rock and self-soothe themselves.
See, that's the first time I heard that. Because I even asked the doctor too, and I was like, why does he do that? You know, I guess...
Self-soother.
Because I wasn't there to, you know, rock him and cuddle him, and, you know, until he was 4 months. That was what he used to do. And then used to get up in the middle of the nighttime. I used to, like, he would sleepwalk. So I would, you know, sometimes have to keep an extra eye on him because I caught him one time going to the bathroom, getting toilet water and drinking toilet water. And I'm looking like, why is he, you know, like, is he even alert when he's doing this? You know, it would be like certain behavior, you know, like, and I used to have to stop him. He'd go straight to the refrigerator. I don't even know if he's like awake when he's doing this or if he's sleeping or, you know, it's just things that I had to watch out with him. And he would just like get into anything and everything. And I noticed that when he did it, even after Jordan was gone, my other son was doing it. My other little son, my 4-year-old. And I'm looking like, is it because he watched Jordan do it? Or why is he doing the same thing that Jordan was doing?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, is it a behavioral thing? I mean, it's just something that I recognize that. Jordan used to do that. You know, like, and it was just, and Jordan was perfectly fine. It was just something I felt like in that house too. Like it was not really wanting us there. You know, like a sense of something. And I guess I don't know if you guys heard about this, but I found out after I moved there. Because when I went to see the house, it had a caution thingy wrapped around it. Kind of like on the front bush. And I looked like maybe it was just for a Halloween decoration or something. But the neighbors and somebody had told me that actually a father had killed his son. Or something happened there. So it kind of like, you know, like, wait a minute, you know, this house is just like bad luck. you know, and I mean, Jordan's behaviors didn't start till we moved there, in that house. I never seen Jordan behavior act any different. You know, his behavior just changed. You know, it's just like I had to observe him a lot more there. You know, things that he was doing, I've never seen him do.
Well, to be fair, by the time you moved there, he's really developing. An autistic child may be a little bit delayed.
Right, and he was 3 months delayed.
He's probably even more delayed than that. If we didn't get him into school. But he's developing into himself at age 3. So, is it a coincidence? I don't know. Is there something to do with this house? Perhaps.
But after you know, the things happened with Jordan, my other little one, he was 3, when he was doing the same thing Jordan was doing.
Right. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. Is there, obviously you believe in spirits.
I've went through a couple things myself, so that's why, like, I mean,
I believe in spirits too, good and bad.
I've actually had one.
What kind of spirit is Christopher Rodriguez?
He's a Roman Catholic. So
I'm not talking about his religious affiliation.
Like, what do you mean? He believes in Saint Michael.
Does he have a good soul with light in it, or does he have a black soul?
I say he's got a little bit of both. But when his anger comes out, it's real nasty. It's terrible.
So he's an angry black cloud.
Yeah, I could say he went through a lot of things too in his life, but I mean, I've never been with somebody so angry like that. I mean,
everybody sitting here in this room has been through some horrible things in their life.
Right.
And
I mean,
life
I
is
even
about
did
choices.
too. But I mean,
but you didn't. I turn them around to your kids.
No, never.
But
never.
The difference is, and this is my experience of 10 years working over there. Those ain't his kids.
Right.
His mouth may say, "These are my kids."
Right. But his action speaks.
But at the end of the day, that's some other man's kid. And if he's interfering with my time, with you,
right. And his thing was always, oh, you know, your baby daddy's gonna try to come back, and this and this and that, and oh, that's my kid, and you know, it was always just something with him. I mean,
so he's jealous. In addition to all that, he's a jealous guy.
Very, very, and that's one reason why I don't have my Facebook, is because I get compliments about how pretty I am, and this and this and that, and all I said was thank you. It was a compliment. That's what you say when somebody gives you a compliment, right? Thank you.
Right.
There was no conversation other than thank you. And I had to hear it.
Male or female? Could be.
There was one time everything was perfectly fine. He was sitting up in the room. Says that the ghost spirit in the house, the female ghost spirit that we have in our house, sat there and told him to look at my Facebook. Looking on somebody in the past.
We'll see if our 9 o'clock can set up the other one.
It was somebody in the past that we never did anything. We were friends.
Okay.
Nothing, and I got accused.
Listen, I have a really unique perspective into what your life is like. There's almost no female that I've ever met that hasn't had an unwanted sexual experience. And what those unwanted sexual experiences create are broken souls. So I completely understand the position that you're in. And if you want to continue this conversation later today, I'm happy to do that. If you want me to pull you back over here, I'm happy to do that. I feel for where you're at, because no woman should ever have to bury their child, and I think you did the best you could with what you had, but that guy was using you.
And that's why I told my sisters too. I said, if I ever get up out of here, I'm not going back. My sister says that they would help me get back on my feet, do what I have to do, because I was always had my own. always had my kids. My kids have never been a day without me. This is my first Christmas without my kids.
At the end of the day, and I understand how you feel about if I ever get up out of here. I don't know what they're going to charge you with. My suspicion is it's going to be murder B. That's my suspicion.
And what gets me is he's not going to get charged for anything.
Oh, now that's not going to be true. And that's not going to be true.
And what is murder B?
It's it's causing the death of another without a plan to actually do it.
And how much time and what am I really looking at? Can you tell me?
I can't.
Or just like a kind of, like a...
I would say, honestly, I would say probably double digits.
What's that?
At least in the neighborhood of a double digit. Now, I don't know what happens later on down the line. And I'm not in charge of that. I can only tell you that I had one other scenario that was very similar to this, and that particular female is doing 8 years. But I would submit this to you. Were it me in your shoes, I would be thankful that my children are in homes where the adults can take care of them. This is not going to prohibit you from having conversation with your children. This is not going to prohibit you from having a place in your children's life. You will still have communication with them. And you have a unique opportunity here. It doesn't matter what you do to your children. They will always love you. The important thing here is that you tell the truth, all the truth, even the truth as they see it. You ask for forgiveness and you move forward. Christopher, and I promise you, I know you wanted to punch me in the nose yesterday, and I accept that.
I was being sarcastic. I'm so sorry.
You weren't being sarcastic. You were angry. And it's my job.
But I'm not a fighter.
It's my job to make you angry.
I think I kind of got off that way because I'm so used to like being like when the guys come at me like that. It just I don't know. It's just like.
Do you understand that it's your eternal need to be with a guy that is attracting guys like that?
And that's what I need to change.
Well, and this is a unique opportunity to do that. I have heal to do for that myself. Part of you.
Right.
So kids who are touched when they're kids wind up either hyper promiscuous or they wind up not at all promiscuous. It's up to you what you decide you were. But at the end of the day, both camps only feel good about themselves if they have a significant other. You have to heal that. You have to be comfortable with you. I don't need anyone else. I'm at peace with being alone, and only when I'm healthy will I attract someone else who's healthy. And I can say that because I'm 50 and I've been you. There's a reason why I was so good at what I did across the hall. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
You still are. You do a very good job.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I've been you. As a kid, my life wasn't as, not that you can compare them.
Say it wasn't so gravy.
But my point is, everybody has a story, right? it wasn't so gravy. But I had a good mom. I had a really good mom. And I don't think you did. And I don't think you had a great dad either.
I really didn't know my dad. He passed away when I was 5. I mean, I really didn't know too much about him. I knew my mom. You know, I got to meet her because I grew up in foster care myself. But I had got to meet her when I was 14. She gave up custody of all of us. We got lucky because we had a foster home that took all 3 of us,
right.
All 3 sisters.
Right.
And I seen it as they mistreated us too. So I can't say all foster homes and all adopted homes are the greatest. But they kicked me out and gave me back to my mother at the age of 14, which the courts told me that they wasn't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was court papered. And my mom was out there, drugs, might as well say prostitution, because she was out there. And she didn't have a great life herself.
Mm-hmm. And she had a horrible ending.
Yeah. And
So
I remember
this is
everybody telling me that, you know what, hopefully I don't end up like her.
This is your unique opportunity to change the end of your life.
Because I could have been dead.
Of course you
I
could
could have been dead.
And
it used to get him mad because sometimes even after the situation with Jordan, it used to get me mad because he put his hands on me and choked me. And I had knots in my head and I said, I just wish I was with Jordan. And he said, what did you say? I said, I wish I was with Jordan. I wish I could take Jordan's place for him. You know, and he was just like, you know, because he didn't like the fact that I used to bring him Jordan. Oh, you know, you don't need nobody hearing, you know, what happened and this and this and that. He would get pissed off.
What do you think he did to Jordan?
I think that morning, technically, something had to happen. I don't know what it could have been. Something had to happen because Jordan wouldn't just collapse like that. You know, I don't know if maybe he might have pushed him, shoved him, punched, or could have even punched him.
Does he punch him?
Who knows? No, I've never seen him. But I mean, if you're talking about any type of fractures, I mean, who's to say?
There's a big difference between punching a child in the face where you're going to see the mark, or punching a child.
I'm going to interview the other one now.
Okay. Punching a child in the rib cage, and no one sees that. So what I'm saying to you is, this guy's a street dude. He knows how to hit.
Right.
He knows how to hit somebody in soft places with a hard object and not leave a mark. So what did he put a kidney shot on that boy? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who's to say?
What that he was pissed off at that kid for whatever reason, puts a kidney shot on the good kidney, and it's lights
and it's
out.
shut down.
Yeah. So now we could be very likely leaning toward a situation where Jordan was beaten to death based upon all these pre-mortem injuries that are in different stages of healing.
And something told me, I don't know what it was, it's just a feeling that he had something to do with this. Because I not once, ever, and as you've seen for yourself, pictures and everything, I've always posted, my kids were always healthy, I've always took care of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I never hit my kids. Everybody used to tell me, even the officer at the house, as you can, he's like, maybe you need a spanking, you know, and that's not in me to do that. You know, when I was little, I got hit with extension cords. I got hit with boards. I had to kneel on rice on a carpet. And I told myself, those are things I never want my kids to go through. Nothing.
Hey, I don't want to be that mom either.
That's horrible.
I don't want to be that mommy. I don't want to compel my child through fear.
And I remember he always used to tell me, well, you need to discipline your kids and this and this and that. And it's just like, I'm doing my best to discipline my kids.
What is his definition of discipline?
His, I guess, is more like spanking, and I don't know what he considers discipline.
Did you see him put the sock in Jordan's mouth and put him in a corner?
One time I did, yes. And I didn't like it. I didn't.
Did he make Jordan sit in the closet?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of, but it can't no say when I step out or, you know, something like that. But as far as the closet goes, I know my kids play in the closet. That's all I know. Mm-hmm. You know, my kids love to sit there and hang on the little bar thingy. And one time I caught my little one just sitting on the shelf up there. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know, typical kids.
Playhouse.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as that, I don't know. But my Jordan didn't deserve any of this. None.
Well, and what I suggested to you yesterday is that the only way you heal yourself from all of this is to take responsibility for your side of the street. Meaning, if I drank, if I doped, if I didn't keep house, if I didn't put sheets on your bed, if I didn't feed you, if I was overwhelmed, if I didn't do my part to take care of you, then I own that. And
right, just like I take the responsibility. I didn't take him to the doctor. That was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't call the ambulance when he needed it. That was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I also had part in putting him there because I just had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I'm feeling depressed. I diagnosed with PTSD,
mm-hmm.
you know. And
probably postpartum.
And, you know, I didn't know what to do. You know, I just got scared. And I just was like, you know, and I wasn't ready to let Jordan go because I've been through so much with Jordan. You know, by myself, even before I got with Chris, I was taking him to the doctor. It was a lot, but I was working on getting there because my social worker, my counselor has a preemie, so she was working with me on some things that I could do with Jordan.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know who Patrick Strawn is. My understanding from you is that this was a one-time liaison with him or a couple of time liaison with him?
Yeah, and then I got pregnant and here comes Jordan, and I didn't want nothing to do with him. He didn't want nothing to do with me.
Okay.
So I told him, I sent him back and I told him, you need to go to Texas, back home where, you know, where you are.
So, but my question to you is, not to cut you off, and I know you need to talk about this stuff to get it out. The law says that he has a right to Jordan because he's the father. What that he never comes forward or we don't find him?
He's not going to come forward. He's not.
Then whom would you want to have Jordan? Michelle?
My sister, and I talked to her last night.
Michelle or Anna?
Michelle.
Okay.
Because she's more responsible. Michelle's more responsible. She's the oldest.
So in the absence of Patrick Strawn, you would want her to have Jordan's remains?
Yes.
And to follow through with what she wanted to do, which was a cremation?
Yes.
And to divide the remains between his siblings?
I think that would be best. I talked to her yesterday, and I told her I was going to let you know that, you know, because we all agree, he's never been there. He never wanted no part of Jordan. And even on Facebook, I could even show you from old messages. You know, I sent him pictures of when he was in the NICU. Mm-hmm. I told him when he was born. I didn't have to tell him. Mm-hmm. You know, those are things that even I try to connect with his sister. I didn't get nothing from neither.
Well, what if
one
they come back and they do want him? Then what?
I doubt it. I mean,
but if they do, then there's nothing we can do. I hope not, for your sake, and
I
for
don't. Me personally, I don't think they will. They've never stepped up before, so thinking we just gotta think I'm just gonna have my sister do everything until further notice. If he does come through, if he doesn't, I don't know.
Okay.
But
do you have any questions for me at this juncture?
No. But would I still be able to see him or no?
So
to at least say my last, finals to him. If I can't, I'll just, say him in prayer or whatever to myself. But I think I just kind of need that, closure.
I don't suspect that they're done with their examination at this point. And I think that probably...
They're not going to.
They're probably not going to allow you that. And I don't think that you want to see photos of him. You actually physically want to see your child.
That's very true.
Is there any other questions you have for me at this juncture?
So they're gonna go ahead and charge me today?
Yes. I'm going to charge you today at some point, and you'll probably go to court in the morning, and then in the morning we're going to talk to the other half of the equation in Medina County.
Good luck with that one.
Well, I really don't care if he speaks or not. And I want you to know that I helped to arrange the visit with your sisters.
Thank you. That helped a lot.
You can't go through this alone. And what I would say to you is I've had members of my own family do big chunks of time for some really fucked up shit.
And they told me, Larissa, you've never had a record. You shouldn't even be here.
Well, this is...
And now I feel bad because my little sister, she's taking it hard.
Well...
And I know that she feels it's her fault. And it's not her fault.
I assured her that the other half of the equation will be held responsible for his part in it. Because it's undeniable that when he comes into the picture, that this child's life changed irrevocably. So,
because I was in plenty other relationships before him and nothing happened.
I'll be right back.
Larissa did not have a care and disregarded that they had abused Jordan so bad that this time he did not wake up. She had so many chances to take him to the hospital or doctor, but did not care to. She is a despicable human. Not human, a monster. She failed as a mom, and these type of people should not even be allowed to have children. Y'all, she had 10 kids altogether. In December of 2017, the police dug and found little Jordan's body in the backyard after a tip was made to police. It was a tragedy that Jordan had a mother who failed him. What the coroner found during the autopsy showed extensive abuse. He had broken bones, bruising all over his body. He even had broken ribs. The decomposition was so bad that they couldn't really find the exact cause of death. Larissa and Chris buried Jordan with a diaper over his head and wrapped his body in trash bags. This little boy did not deserve so much disrespect. He had a big family that loved him and would have taken Jordan in on their own. The caseworker that used to go and check up on Jordan and the rest of the kids, her name was Miss Caraballo, and Caraballo paid Rodriguez 50 cents for every dollar of her food stamp benefits, totaling over $10,000 they made with this scheme. She practically paid her to keep her mouth shut and overlook the abuse and conditions of the dwelling and close out the cases. Remember I told you that they would report and then someone would go over there and investigate and then nothing else was said about it and then the case was closed? Well, because someone that worked for Family, Children, and Services was over there kind of like checking in and auditing like what's going on in her house, and they had some type of scam going on, and Rodriguez paid her to be quiet, I guess. Yeah, something like that, to overlook. Well, anyways, the dwelling the kids were in were so disgusting. So disgusting, y'all. Rats everywhere, that's what the police said. There was cockroaches everywhere. They even saw a child, one of her kids, eating a sandwich that had bugs in it. That is so disgusting. The dwelling was not livable. It was not a place for children, and the kids were not taken care of. Miss Carabala was arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison for false reporting and grand larceny. This is where we start to get to the end of this case. Little Jordan had a lot of people that celebrated his life, came by to show their respect. He was 4 when he passed away, but they didn't find him until after he was supposed to turn 5. His birthday was in October. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of little details about this case that I didn't really touch on because I didn't think it was that important. But just know that his aunts and his other siblings miss him so much. In January 2018, Christopher Rodriguez was charged along with his girlfriend with 1 count of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, 2 counts of endangering children, and 1 count of gross abuse of a corpse. The charges were filed after law enforcement discovered the body of Jordan buried in their backyard. The trial court imposed a prison term of 11 years for involuntary manslaughter, 8 years for felonious assault, 8 years for endangering children, and 4 years for gross abuse of a corpse. In addition, the trial court ordered that each sentence be served consecutively of each other. So that means Christopher Rodriguez got 28 years in prison altogether, and Larissa was sentenced to 25 years in prison. I'm not sure why Christopher Rodriguez got more because he wasn't even there. I mean, I understand that he took part of the abuse as well, but Jordan died on Larissa's watch and she didn't do anything about it. She didn't be a mom. She knew that he needed a hospital and she neglected to take him. That's my thoughts. The investigators that were really close to the case said that they didn't believe that Christopher or Larissa didn't really show any grief or remorse for their actions. And Christopher and Larissa were passing letters back and forth while they're in prison. And all of those letters get read. And even in the letters, they didn't even really talk about how horrible they felt or what them circumstances were. All they talked about was how much they loved each other and they wanted to get married and you know, sexual things. And it's like they're all in their own little world. This woman did not care about her kids. I'm just so happy that she is behind bars and cannot hurt any more children. And also, remember I told you Larissa was pregnant. She did have her other baby. It was a little girl, and she went right into foster care. I'm just very sorry that these children ended up with a mother like her. A monster. I hope that they're somewhere being treated a lot better. I will be putting a video of the judge and the sentencing.
Thanks.
This is State of Ohio versus Larissa Rodriguez, case number 614697. She's before the court today with her attorneys. The state is also represented. The defendant has previously entered pleas of guilty to count 1, a felony of the 3rd degree, count 2, a felony of the 3rd degree, count 3, a felony of the 4th degree, and count 4, a felony of the 3rd degree. Court has received and reviewed the sentencing memorandums as well as the PSIs. I'm prepared to pass sentence The state is present. Would you like them to go first, or do you want to go first?
I would defer to the state, yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just like the co-defendant in this case, we have filed a sentencing memo and made what we believe are the relevant points. Although I would add one fact that I did not include in that memo. The state has evidence that defendant Rodriguez also used money from the sale of her EBT card to buy gas and to facilitate visits to her boyfriend, who at the time was in prison in Medina County. So she was using the EBT money for personal expenses. I think that's relevant to the overall request that we've made for incarceration of both defendants. The conduct of this defendant is equally serious, but for different reasons. These were her children, and before any other expense in her life got paid, she had a duty of care to provide for her children. And instead, she sold these food stamp benefits for 50 cents on the dollar to meet her own personal needs. This came to light when one of her own children was murdered and buried in her backyard, and as the court has indicated already, most likely would continue into the future had this not been uncovered through the homicide investigation. So again, Your Honor, for the reasons we've outlined in our sentencing memorandum, this is extremely egregious conduct. Children were harmed as a result of these offenses, and the state submits that prison is an appropriate punishment, and probation would truly demean the seriousness of these offenses. Thank you.
Mr. Stannard?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I have read the pre-sentence report. It does appear to be accurate. Your Honor, the defendant has admitted her guilt, and she stands ready to accept the punishment that the court deems appropriate at this time, and I thank the court.
Would you like to speak? You don't have to. If you don't want to, it's up to you. Mm-hmm. So in your case, you are the parent who's receiving the benefits. And as I just said to Ms. Caraballo, many people get up every single day in this county and go to work, barely make it, do everything they can to feed their children. And they pay taxes, and their money that's taken from them for taxes is given to people like you who are doing less, are less fortunate. And then for you to turn around, make a deal with somebody to take this money and use it for whatever you wanted to personally at the expense of your children is really not only not understandable to me, but it's an affront to everybody in this county who works and helps support those who are less fortunate. It's a slap in the face. You're not entitled to this money. This money was for your children, and you used it for yourself. I don't know that I've seen somebody quite this selfish when it comes to their children and the stealing of food stamps. I've had people in front of me that have stolen food stamps, but it's been more of a situation where they had food stamps, they weren't working, they got a job, and there's problems with when they notified somebody. But this is egregious. You had an intent here to bypass the system. I do think a prison term is appropriate, therefore your sentence is as follows. Count 1, felony of the 3rd degree, 3 years in prison. Count 2, a felony of the 3rd degree, 3 years in prison. Count 3, a felony of the 4th degree, 15 months in prison. Count 4, a felony of the 3rd degree, 3 years in prison. Counts 1 and 4 to be served consecutive to each other for a 6-year sentence. Counts 2 and 3 to be served concurrent to those sentences previously imposed. You're subject to post-release control on each count for up to 3 years. If you violate the conditions of post-release control, the parole board must impose an additional prison term for up to 1/2 of the term that I've imposed. Fines, fees, and costs are waived as you remain indigent and are still a prisoner in the county jail due to your other case. You are subject to restitution order, joint and several with your co-defendant, your amount being $5,029 payable to the Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services. Any questions from the state?
No,
any questions from the defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. That the serviceman who made this phone call, it's so important that he did that, and I don't want him to go unrecognized because I can't imagine the trauma that he had hearing this in a foreign country, that his brother had done something like this, asking his brother to take accountability, and then because his brother doesn't want to be a man, he has to do it, but he did it, and I give him credit for doing that. The other thing that this case I think really drives home is that there's insufficient consideration given to the people that work in the criminal justice system. So I want to say to the police, to the detectives Remington and Diaz, I certainly know that your job is very difficult. And I look at these photographs, and it's very hard. And I think you should be recognized more for the difficulty of what you do. And the same to the state. And to the defense, this is equally difficult for you. What we do every day is so hard. People don't give any of us the credit that we deserve for dealing with the horrors that are brought before us. And Mr. Rodriguez, this is a horror. I know as a judge I'm not supposed to show emotion. And in 22 years, I never have. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And I don't understand, Mr. Rodriguez, why you don't want to cleanse yourself and tell the truth about what happened here. And I hope someday you do. Whatever this child's life was supposed to be, you make sure it didn't happen. You and Larissa. I look at friends and family, people who are desperate to have children and want to have families, and you two have babies with no consideration. You just keep having them, disregarding the value of their life, disregarding their purpose in life, like they're less than an object, no regard. I didn't even hear you say you were sorry. I will not accept the recommendation for Mr. Rodriguez. These crimes are horrific. There's no question in my mind that this child was abused. It's clear that you did everything you could, you and Larissa, to hide evidence to protect yourselves. You had every opportunity at so many points to make a difference, to get help, to stop beating somebody, to call the police, to ask for help, to try to take him to the hospital. I have to imagine that at some point you got on the internet and said, how do I bury a body? Because this is unbelievable to me. The level of meticulousness that you went through to not be discovered. I honestly don't know how you live with yourself. I don't know how either one of you live with yourself. The court imposed a sentence as follows. Count 1, involuntary manslaughter, felony of the first degree, 11 years in prison. Count 2, felony of the second degree, felonious assault, 8 years in prison. Count 3, felony of the second degree, 6 years in prison. Count 5, abuse of a corpse, felony of the fifth degree, 9 months in prison. Counts 1, 2, and 3 to be served consecutive to each other and concurrent to the sentence imposed in count 5 for a total sentence of 25 years. The sentence is to be served concurrent to the sentence previously imposed in 625-508 for a total sentence of 25 years. Your sentence is as follows. Count 1, involuntary manslaughter, 11 years in prison. Count 2, felony of the second degree, felonious assault, 8 years in prison. Count 3, felony of the second degree, 8 years in prison. Count 5, abuse of a corpse, 1 year in prison, all counts to be served consecutive to each other with credit for any time served. That's a total sentence of 28 years. That's the maximum sentence available.
Y'all, I don't know how many children cases I can continue to do. Me being a mom of 3 breaks my heart to think that things like this could happen to your own kids and stuff, and it's very sad. I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional. This case got to me. I just want to say that if y'all have any other people, mysterious or unsolved cases, just let me know. You can email me or you can send me a message through Instagram and give me some ideas of who I should cover next, who y'all want to hear about. want to know more about. Hold your kids and your family very close to you. They are so very, very important. I love y'all very much. I am blessed that y'all are here and supporting the channel. Until next time.